call us if you could potentially provide your number, just for me to make an initial outreach contact. With what I had envisioned, what the Lord had put on my heart, was for you and I to perhaps have a private man-to-man. It could be in public, but just you and I sitting down and where I could respectfully listen to your position and your grievance, which you have the right to air. And we would let the Lord guide us. So that was my intention for the outreach. There's a lot of moving parts to this thing, and I understand that. However, it was important that I stayed in contact with you as soon as I could. And I received your number just about, less than an hour ago. I got to a place where I made cast my first vote of the evening, and so here we are.
Well, Congressman, I want to thank you for finding it in your heart to not find it robbery to give me a call and us to finally talk one-on-one. As a citizen of the United States, you can imagine my concern that someone such as yourself, who has an illustrious history of supporting the Second Amendment and also sworn to uphold the Constitution, could find ourselves being human in the end. I would hope that you and I could sit down, as you say, man to man, and find it within our perspectives to come to some form of a mutual agreement that will be beneficial to the both of us, because I do believe that we're all human and we make mistakes. That we atone for those mistakes, but we also remember that because we're both public figures, and you, sir, are very public as I am, that we have a responsibility to our constituents to allay any concerns and show that there is some potential of unity at some point in the future, if not achievable today. I think that you, being a sitting congressman, will agree with me that it is in the best interest of both our communities that you and I do, in fact, not only privately sit down from one soul to another, but that publicly we give some display that we have in fact met and have come to a conclusion that this is something we can get past, and that our people can begin to look forward to hope. I would hope that you would agree with me, Congressman.
I pretty much concur with you. It's almost like I wrote what you just said. So I believe, quite frankly, that even when gentlemen of solid core principles disagree, we still find the very common thread that weaves us as children of God together as one and as equals in the eyes of God. That we are men of principles, and when we take, as men that have a tendency to speak candidly, it's very easy to speak scripted and controlled, and you got 5 or 6 people telling you exactly what to say and when to say it, when to say nothing. I'm quite sure that every man that has been honest and outspoken and candid has been, through the course of his life, misunderstood or purposefully misreported. Perhaps you've been victim of that. I know that your organization was initially portrayed as violent, and that there was a lot of confusion about who was representative of your organization. I readily admit that I didn't get it. I mean, I wasn't tuned in to the level that some Americans were about what NFAC was and the type of gentleman that you are. That was an understanding I think the world has clarified, myself being no exception to that, over the course of the last couple of weeks. And when when it was made clear to me by others in my love and respect that they themselves had come to understand the nature of your character, and you convey some things that were very impressive to me, just as a man, regarding your calm, poised approach to this very volatile situation. It's not just Lafayette. A nation needs healing right now. So somehow, you and I find ourselves at a focal point, and I believe it's incumbent upon us to at least try to extend the gestures of love and peace, and have some private moments together where we can share our reflections and our visions for a hopeful future, and hopefully to submit ourselves to the Lord's will together. That's my intent, and I listen carefully as good as I can. I'm getting old now. I don't hear like I used to, especially with a lot of background noise. But what you stated just a few moments ago, although I could not repeat it verbatim, I believe I heard you, Lima Charlie, and I would say I concur with everything that you said. And perhaps we can meet. I'll return and just clarify. I'm in D.C. Our schedule is somewhat unknown to me and to everybody here, because it's quite a contentious time in the House of Representatives. And I do not control the schedule, the voting schedule. We are, according to the schedule, we should conclude voting this week on Friday afternoon or evening, which would put me on a flight home Friday night or Saturday morning. That's normal, because I do not live here. I stay in my office, and I don't have a place up here. My home and my family is in South Louisiana, and I return to Louisiana every weekend after my obligations are concluded here. So the bottom line is I should be back in Louisiana on Friday night. That's kind of a 90%. That's my schedule. It's the best I can tell you right now.
Congressman, Congressman, I'm going to go ahead and jump in there. You said so much. You said a mouthful, and it's all good words I'm hearing here. I'm glad to hear you say these things. They restore my confidence in the hope that we're looking at the end of a dark tunnel. I too will be in Lafayette along with the NFAC for a peaceful and successful celebration of solidarity with my people. And you and I could find some time to sit down, Congressman, and have a discussion. We could make those things happen that you just said. I would hope that you would make yourself available you would be more than welcome to come out to this very peaceful event where we're encouraging voter registration and encouraging solidarity in the community, while at the same time exercising our constitutional rights. You'll find that you would be most welcome there. At the same time, I too will be arriving in your city somewhere around the same time. That you have a direct contact number toward me. I can be reached through.
This is Mr. Johnson, let me, in the interest of respect to you, sir, how shall I address you? Shall I address you as sir, Mr. Johnson, or do you prefer your due title of Grandmaster J? I don't want to be disrespectful.
Well, Congressman, I don't want to be disrespectful to you either, but just out of, in the military, we're always told when in doubt, give them the highest rank until someone tells you different. Because I've made that mistake quite a few times. So out of respect for the position that you hold in the House of Representatives, I addressed you for the due respect of the position that you hold as the Supreme Commander of the NFAC and this entire militia, for the sake of us getting to a point where we're comfortable. I throw away titles. You know how we do in the military, we're by last name. In this particular instance, I'm not going to call you Clay, and if you call me Jay, they're going to think we're hanging out together. So what we're going to do here is you're going to stay Mr. Higgins, and I'll stay Mr. Johnson, and no one gets confused.
Yeah, that's perfectly cool. Again, I just want to be respectful. So, listen, we could meet. I'm happy to have you in my home. I have an office in my home, and I would welcome you there. Or I will come to the area where your organization will be gathering. And by the way, last week, I don't know if anyone will ever tell you this, but what I'm about to share is the truth. Last week, when it was made clear to me the way who you were, because there was confusion, and the way you were communicating, I stated to the mayor's office there was some question about granting a permit, and I said that I recommend they grant the permit because you're presenting your organization for peaceable assembly. You're following all the laws. We're seeking a permit, and as a constitutionalist that supports freedom of assembly to peaceably redress grievance, including observing Second Amendment rights within that jurisdictional authority, which in Louisiana means open carry. I personally advised the mayor's office when there was some debate within that organization about granting the permit. I said, if they want to know my opinion, I don't have the authority to do so, but if I did, I would absolutely grant the permit regardless of any objection, because you're either a constitutionalist or you're not. So my point is, on Saturday, you would be welcome into my home, or I will come to Lafayette proper and meet wherever you designate. And let me clarify that although, regarding Second Amendment rights, although I am always armed, I'm quite well known for that, and I am a commissioned post-certified peace officer. I've maintained that certification since 2004. Because of this beautiful moment that we potentially have, I will only be armed with the Lord's word. The King James Version is my preferred word, and I respect yours, sir, and what God you worship and how. I do not know, but I just want you to know that I will be quite contrary to like a normal day for me. I'm armed at all times, but to meet with you, of course, I recognize your Second Amendment rights. Be armed in every earthly manner, and I have no problem with that, including into my home. But I will only be armed with the spiritual weapon that pierces the heart and soul of me, including my own. Failed and fallen though I be, I rely upon the word for my guidance. And sometimes I'm wrong. Yeah, I've been wrong many times in my life, and this is where leadership surfaces from the hearts of the spirits. To me, it's derived in its most pure form from the Lord's word to us. So I'm willing to meet with you in my home, or I will come to where you are by myself. Normally I have staff drive me, but the Lord put it on my heart to offer to meet with you anywhere, in any way, including in my home in Lafayette on Saturday, if you would be willing. And I will be heavily armed with 1,483 words. pages, 1,483 pages. Congressman. Yes, sir.
So I like the spin on it. I like the close. That was great. Here's what I'm going to say. Again, as you said before, the intended purpose of the existence of my organization is simply the protection and the education and the policing of my own people. No threat to anyone. And to find that we could find a middle ground between my organization and the United States government and any representative thereof. Power speaks to power, and I recognize there's a greater power above both of us. And if you're willing to put your life in the hands of he that placed us here, I can only respect that. And I would invite you to come out to Lafayette, to the Park San Sui. And if you would still have me in the home, I would be more than welcome. I'd be honored to set foot inside of your castle. However, I believe that you have work to do on the floor. I'll let you get back to it, exciting as it is. I too have ran for the presidency, so I know a little bit about the domestic doldrums that go on inside of that place. And I look forward to speaking to you once you land in Lafayette, Louisiana, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, excellent. And shall I, listen, this is my personal cell phone number, Mr. Johnson, and please store it in your phone and consider me at your avail. If you granted your permission, I will contact you towards the end of the week on Friday when I'm sure when I'm going to be there, and then you can tell me, you can instruct me when the best time is for me to come to your gathering, and I'll be myself in the manner that I just described. I have total faith that this thing is in God's hands, and I've been very impressed with both the your spirit and your focus, your intellect, and your conversation with me tonight, just by being willing to receive my call. It says a lot about your characters. So if it's okay with you, I'll contact you back on Friday, so we can arrange a more precise time for my arrival to meet with you. And between now and then, you're welcome to contact me or have your senior staff contact me, whichever you prefer.
Well, thank you very much, Congressman. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to talking to you real soon, and I look forward to you contacting me upon your arrival for further clarification of our meeting and scheduling of times to arrive out at the formation. And I thank you for your time, and again, I look forward to talking to you real soon. Have a good evening, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. God bless you. Thank you for giving the call. Good night.
Good night. Y'all don't know what's going on up in here. So, y'all remember the movie Get Out? Remember Get Out? Y'all remember the movie Get Out? Oh, hell no. In case y'all were wondering, that was Congressman Clay Higgins calling to extend the olive branch, and to say he will come to the formation as a show of goodwill. This is after a sitting congressman said that he would kill me and 10 of my members of the Nfac. Y'all ain't been paying attention to the story. It's been slowly getting worse. We're in new territory, people. You all have to understand what you're witnessing. A sitting congressman has had to apologize to Black Power